We're going to do this very fast. And the reason being is that I mean, AI is huge. We could spend easily, like a whole session on this, but I just kind of wanted to do a quick overview of how FileMaker is using AI. And here's some popular AI terms: large language model, machine language, natural language processing that you might hear, generative AI, ChatGPT, which is conversational AI. There are web services available for AI from a lot of different companies: OpenAI, AWS, Google Gemini, Microsoft Azure, and Apple is going to get in the game too eventually. There are tons of business uses. I mean, this is the thing that everyone's talking AI now. And just thinking of some of the clients and that we have that are using FileMaker, you could use AI to assist with telephone calls, to summarize information, to recognize patterns, to draft communications, to rewrite or complete text, to generate ideas, to write code, or to translate languages. I mean, those are just some of the things. Okay. But then of course, there are a host of AI concerns. The quality of responses are not always, you need humans to look at what's generated and check it over. And then of course, data privacy, which is really, I mean, you have to be very careful if you're sending sensitive information about a business to an external service. They can do what they want with it. And so that's where AI on the local workstation is becoming important. So we've come up with a demo app using FileMaker, using the OpenAI. And I just want to, this will be out there. We'll provide it on a blog article for free so that you can mess around with it. And so and at Claris Engage, there's going to be several sessions on AI and FileMakers. So there's going to be more built into FileMaker in the future, even commands potentially that help assist with AI. There's some in there already, but watch Claris Engage and just you'll see some of the new things coming out from there. And then we will summarize that and blog about this in a future demo on our website. But I'll just do a quick look at this demo. And we found it to be really useful to have this in FileMaker. I'm going to check the chat here. So some people were asking questions or something. Oh, well, okay. So this is a very simple FileMaker file. It's two tables, a table of questions and a table of preferences. And the preferences is only basically an API key. So about as simple as you can get with a FileMaker database. And then questions has a whole bunch of items that you'll see here under the question. So we have a question view and a list view. And so you have categories, the type of AI, the model used for that AI, and then the actual prompt. So in this case, the prompt is what you're using to get information from back from the generative AI. And so I've got a whole bunch of examples in here going back and forth, like write a FileMaker script that eliminates duplicate records in a found set based on a field called email. This is what you get back. And so being in a FileMaker database, it's kind of nice that you can create a new record and ask this question in a slightly different way and get a different response, but you can save both of them. So like I asked it, show me a FileMaker script that eliminates duplicate records in a found set. Just change the prompt a little bit more, and you see it gave me something that looks a lot more like a FileMaker script that I could kind of use as an example. That's generating code potentially. Other kind of things that you can, like if I was to create a new record and I say, I'm going to make this a test category, and I want to have the AI type to be an image, it'll, let's see, I'm going to say, create a logo for a new football team in Minnesota. Just see what this does. There we go. That's our new football team logo. So I don't know. I don't know. It's fake a name or something here, but you can, there's some buttons here that can help you to create a better prompt. Of course, there's ChatGPT, like instructions on prompts and things out there that you can look at. But basically, this comes down to a script that calls OpenAI, looking at the prompt and looking at the models and things, and then pulling that information back into either a container field if it's an image, or into a text field if it's some sort of generative text kind of thing. You can, again, like let's say you had a advertising database with a whole bunch of product names or something, or product descriptions. You could have FileMaker go through and say, summarize each of these product descriptions in less than 100 words at a second grade level or something. You know, it's like, and then you could store them all very quickly, which would be kind of tedious if you were doing that on your own, just in ChatGPT. So have the database do it. This can be really useful. I mean, like, here's one where I translate this into French, Spanish, Japanese, and 5 other random languages. And I just typed in the word hello. And it pulled back, 10 different translations of that word. So there's just a lot of ideas and things that you could do with this basic database that, so we'll be sharing that on our blog in the future.
Yeah, and one comment on the that goes back to response quality. One thing I have run into, especially I seem to hit it more with FileMaker than say JavaScript or something else, is that sometimes if you'll ask it for a script to do something, ChatGPT will invent its own functions, even if it doesn't exist in FileMaker. Yeah, although in some cases I've said, oh, that'd be a good idea. So you definitely need to double check those responses, especially if you're asking it to build a script or something, because it's not beyond, because it's going to try to give you a response no matter what. And sometimes it'll just make it up.
Yeah, those are parameters that you can specify too, is like, how far from reality are you going to allow it to stray? So like,
You're right.
Some of the parameters we have in here, like the temperature, the maximum number of tokens and stuff that are variable. Those are all things you can look up in OpenAI and then change in here and play around with. So that's the 5-minute overview of AI, which is a huge topic. But I wanted to keep that because that was in the title, and it's just to show a little bit of that. But there's a lot more to come, even in the next couple of weeks, because they'll be talking about it at Claris Engage. So
very cool. Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah.